HD holographic energies, Cosmos holographic energies. Which one do you guys have in your collection, and how the heck are you supposed to tell the difference between these two things? I swear they look exactly the same. What's up guys, Joe R, Vintage Pokemon, coming at you with a sort of guide video for Pokemon 151 HD foil variants. On the left, we have an HD foil variant, and on the right, we have a Cosmo foil variant. And I want to show you the difference between these two particular cards. First of all, the card on the left is called an HD foil variant. And the reason for that is because it's got these really crisp, clean orbs that you can see here. And there's a lot of them too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a ton of these things that are oversized. But on top of that, they're also extremely clean. What we mean by that is that the edges of these circles are not rough at all. They're very smooth and not bumpy. And that's what really makes this an HD water energy foil variant card. On the other hand, when we take a look at the other card in our right hand, this is known as the Cosmo Holo variant, sometimes also called the Pixelated foil variant or the Retro foil variant. I tend to call it the Cosmo Holo variant because this card is a lot more busier and it's a lot more likely to have those Cosmo swirls. You can see when we flash them side by side, it's just a way more busier holo pattern. And I'll have a more detailed picture up on the screen for you to take a look at. Now, another thing that sets the HD cards apart from the Cosmo foil variant is that these cards also have their own unique swirl, which is very rare but can show up on these cards. If we get it in the correct light, we can see it right there. This is known as an HD galaxy swirl. And these particular swirl patterns kind of look like the end of a Mew's tail, but they're definitely not common. You shouldn't rely on finding that swirl to determine whether or not your card is an HD foil variant or not, because they themselves are very uncommon even on the HD cards. The HD cards in general are a lot more uncommon than the Cosmo foil variant. These cards, you could have opened up 100 packs and not pulled a single one of these, because that actually happened to me. It's believed that the HD foil variant was an initial release for Pokemon 151. It may have been an accident. It may have been on purpose. We're not really sure. But we don't really see these popping out of packs anymore a year and a half later. It seems as though they were only initially released, and so they are a lot more rare than the Cosmo foil variant. Now, when we take a look at the Cosmo foil variant, you can see that we actually have a very busy pattern, like we said. And the first thing we're going to note is that the orbs that are on this particular card, they're a lot rougher. They're not as big and not as plentiful, and they are definitely not as smooth or crisp. That's probably the biggest orb that we've got, and it's got rough edges on it. And that really sets us apart from the HD foil variant. You can see that on this card, we do have two beautiful Cosmo swirls, also known as Cosmo Galaxy swirls or pixelated swirls. You see there's one there, one there. And I do want to first start by saying that you can find these swirls on the HD cards as well. So HD cards can have Cosmo swirls, and they also can have HD Galaxy swirls. And so that can lead to a lot of confusion because I think a lot of people believe you can't have both of those swirl types on the HD card. But we will show you an example of an HD card that has those Cosmo swirls in a moment. Now, on top of that, besides being a much busier pattern, the Cosmo foil variant also has these little star patterns. You can see one there, one there. They kind of look like asterisks. Those little patterns are not found on the HD cards either. You also occasionally have these triple orb patterns. You see one there, and there's another one over here. And I don't believe those triple orb patterns are found on the HD cards either. If I'm mistaken on that, then somebody let me know in the comments. But I don't think you see those on the HD cards. Okay, so now that we've seen an example of both an HD water energy and also a Cosmo foil variant water energy, what other cards can have this pattern? Well, all of the energy cards can have the HD pattern on them. And there's 8 energy cards in total. You can see we've got our HD water energy on the left, and we have our Cosmo foil variant on the right. And besides these energy cards, you also have 5 promotional cards that can have both variants as well. And we'll show those off in just a moment as well. And we've got another HD Galaxy Swirl on this card, if I can get it in the right light. There we go. This time it's on the left-hand side. And again, these HD Galaxy Swirls are a lot more uncommon. They are super hard to find. You don't really find 2 of them on any HD cards as far as I know. And we, of course, have those nice smooth circles. You see there's a lot of these oversized orbs on this HD foil variant compared to the grass energy over here that is the retro Cosmo foil variant. You see there we've got a nice Cosmo swirl right there. These Cosmo swirls, by the way, are nothing new in Pokemon. They were seen first on the English side with Base Set 2, way back in the day with Wizards of the Coast. You also find the Cosmo swirl patterns on a lot of modern cards today. They were also featured on Japanese cards as well as Neo Revelations, all the Neo sets as a matter of fact, as well as Gym Challenge, Gym Heroes, and other sets that were early on in the Wizards of the Coast release. So now here we have 2 cards. We've got an HD Lightning Energy on the left, and I want to point out that you can see there's actually several Cosmo swirls on here. We've got one here, one here. I'm not sure if there's any more. Just those 2. So you can have the Cosmo swirl pattern on the HD foil variants. That does not mean they're not HD. You can see we know it's HD because we again have those very smooth, crisp, oversized orb circles here. And again, this pattern is not quite as busy as this one. Here you can see them side by side. It's just not as busy a pattern. And you can see once again, not many of those larger sized orbs, and all the orbs here, they've got really rough edges. They're not smooth and crisp like the HD foil variants orbs are. You can see there's a bunch of them right here on the right-hand side. 1, 2, 3, 4, all these oversized orbs. There's another one right there. So very crisp, smooth orbs. Here's another example that we've got. Once again, an HD Psychic Energy. A lot of those HD high definition orbs that you see there. And then we've got this Psychic Energy. And the retro Cosmo foil variant, it can feature a lot of Cosmo swirls at times. Anywhere from none to as many as 6, I'm told. And you can see this one in particular has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swirls on it, which is definitely a more rare thing to occur. Beautiful, beautiful pattern, but very, very busy looking, very busy. Here we've got an HD Darkness Energy, and we just want to make absolutely sure that you guys can tell the difference between these 2 things. There, once again, look at all those orbs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we've got here the retro one, the Cosmo foil variant, as we call it, sometimes also known as the pixelated foil variant. And this one also has an HD Galaxy Swirl. I believe it's up there in the top corner, if we could get the lighting just right for it. There we go. Top left-hand corner, we get that nice Mew swirl tail, the HD Galaxy Swirl. And I'll have some more detailed pictures on screen for you guys to see of those HD Galaxy Swirls if I haven't already shown them. So now there's also a total of 5 different promotional cards, as we know, that can have the HD Holo pattern. And we're going to start with our trio of starters over here. They come out of the poster collection set. And right off the bat, we've got Bulbasaur here, and Bulbasaur's got a beautiful little HD Galaxy Swirl in his top right-hand corner. That's a dead giveaway that this is an HD foil variant card. But besides that, we also see that we've got those notoriously large orbs as well in this foil pattern. A lot more difficult to tell, though, because there is less foil pattern to observe. But you can see we've got one right there, we've got one right over here on the edge, there's one here at the top, and they're very smooth, high definition in nature, very crisp circles, and so we can tell that that is the HD foil variant. Here we've got another Bulbasaur, and this is of course our Cosmo foil variant. And you can see it's a lot busier. You can see we've got some big orbs on there, but again, they have rough edges to them. They're smooth, bumpy, hard to tell on camera, but this is the Cosmo foil variant. No Cosmo swirls, though, on this Bulbasaur, unfortunately. Although we do have those little starry asterisk patterns. They can be hard to pick up on camera, but they are there, and that tells us that this is the Cosmo foil variant of the Bulbasaur, besides the fact that the pattern is just way busier looking, too. Here we've got our Charmander. Charmander does not have the luxury of having an HD swirl pattern, but we do again see those crisp, large style circles on his holofoil. There we go. We got a nice one right there. That alone is a dead giveaway. This is an HD foil variant. And then we have our Cosmo foil variant Charmander, and this one is great. It's very busy, and it has not just one, but it actually has two swirls right there. We got 1, 2, and that is our retro Cosmo foil Charmander. And again, these were actually recently restocked in a lot of Dollar Generals, and no one is finding these HD foil variants now. Oh, there we go. There's an HD swirl in the top left, a little cut off, but it is there. You can see the end of that Mewtail in the top left-hand corner. And you can see we've got a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, a lot of those crisp, clean HD circles as well. So early on, if you bought any of these poster collection boxes, you would find those HD foil variants. Now, all of these re-released or reprinted, whatever you want to call it, all the ones that you're finding in stores now, they're all the Cosmo foil variant that you're getting. You see a nice Cosmo swirl right there, top left-hand corner, and a lot of people really love finding those swirls. Because the swirls are notoriously more rare on the cards, both the Cosmo foil variant as well as the HD foil variant, sometimes people like to pay a nice little premium for them. Specifically the HD cards, because they are so much more rare, finding one with a swirl is considered hitting the jackpot. So I actually got very lucky because Abra is the 4th card that can have an HD and Cosmo foil variant. And when we take a look at Abra here, this one in particular, we take a close look at it. Oh, there's a nice HD Galaxy swirl right there on the rock. You can see our little Abra. He's doing a little puff puff behind the rock there and making swirls. And that is a cool one if I've ever seen one. So now we have our Cosmo foil variant, and we've got a beautiful look. This one's super easy to tell. Look how busy this is. It's just flooded with foil or pixelation, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful Cosmo swirl right there. And you can see nice big orbs for the HD one. Plus we have that HD Galaxy swirl as well. Our last foil variant that we can have in the set is the Electabuzz. You'll notice that I didn't show the Kadabra. As far as we know, for whatever reason, Kadabra does not have an HD foil variant. No idea why. It's possible that it could be reprinted with an HD foil variant in the future. As a matter of fact, all of these could be potentially reprinted again with the HD foil variant. But as of right now, the HD is significantly less common than the Cosmo foil variant. Electabuzz here, though, is notoriously hard to decipher, coming from the Zapdos EX box, whereas the Abra came from the Alakazam EX box. Who would have guessed? Electabuzz is notoriously difficult because he's got such a dark hollow pattern. You really got to try to find those large orbs. It's helpful if they're on the edge of the card. In particular, let's see if we can pick up on any of those big orbs here. Can be a little tricky. You can see there's the edge of one over there. That's not the greatest, though. With some time, you should be able to find one. Oh, there's one on his tail over here. There we go. See, that's a nice, crisp circle, smooth edges, give away that this is an HD foil variant. And then we've got, of course, our retro one here. And again, very difficult to tell, But what I notice is that there actually is, if I could get it in the lighting, there is one of those little pixelated stars right here above his hand. Again, not going off of much, but that little pixelated star, that is not found. A little asterisk sort of looking star is not found on the HD holofoil variants. And you can see along the edges here, it is a busier holo pattern. And that also is a giveaway. And the circles, of course, you can see here, bottom left-hand corner, it's not a smooth, perfect circle. And that also tells us this is the retro Cosmo foil variant. So guys, I hope that helped for today. You able to tell the difference between your HD foil variants and your, of course, Cosmo foil variants. I know it can be tough to tell the difference between these two things, and it's important for those of you that are trying to collect all of these for your master set. Do I think you need all of these to complete the full master set of Pokemon 151? I don't know. It really depends on you guys. And I'm just here to try to help you collect as many cards as you could possibly want for that collection. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, taking a look at all of these examples with me, as well as how to identify them. And you tune in next time for more Pokemon content, vintage action, here with Joe R, Vintage Pokemon. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.